Hi, I'm Ernie Burns of Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors, and today we have
Dustin Stanley, also with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors.
We're going to talk today about some common mistakes people make on Social Security. They just don't know what they don't know. So if you are approaching age of Social Security and you've had questions in the past on when you should turn it on, should you leave it off, what tax implications you have, what are the issues, how can you benefit by taking Social Security, or is it a benefit? We're going to talk about those features today overall. So stay tuned, grab your coffee, and it's going to be about 10 minutes of very detailed information about Social Security itself. So Dustin, I'm going to ask you the first question here, understanding the real value of Social Security.
Yeah, so what we mean by that, understand the real value is when we go out and we save money, we're putting money away, we're trying to generate ourselves enough income so that we can afford to retire. Well, if you think about it, with Social Security, let's just say that your benefit is $2,500 a month. Well, $2,500 a month times 12 months for the year, that's $30,000 per year that you're going to get. But not only are you going to get it $30,000 a year, you're going to get it for the rest of your life until you die. And we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but you're going to get cost of living adjustments along the way. So to generate that amount of income, guarantee it until you die, and give yourself raises along the way, it's going to take about $800,000 or $900,000 to put away in order to generate $2,500 a month for the rest of your life. So I always say embrace that benefit. Make sure you understand the real value of what that income is going to be.
Like you said before, it's like kind of like a pension.
Yeah.
So think about that. I mean, I know we get aggravated about, FICA and everybody else drawing that money out of our Social Security, drawing that money out of our checks every month, but that is actually what's happening. They build in you a pension up when you retire in itself. So the next question here would be getting blindsided by taxes.
Yeah. So a lot of times individuals go into retirement and they don't think about, hey, there's going to be taxes that are due on this Social Security income that I'm receiving. So depending on what your household income is, it's going to determine how much of your Social Security is now taxable income. So I believe up to 85% of it can become taxable. I think you have a chart there.
Yeah.
Can you see?
So here's what we have here. If you're married, you can make it to $32,000 a year, and 50% of your Social Security is taxed. If you make over $44,000 a year, then 85% of your Social Security is taxed. So probably 90% of the people listening to this audio here is in understanding this video chat here right now is your 85% of Social Security is going to be taxed. So therefore, you got to look at, do you want to work in retirement? Do you not want to work? And when should you? We're going to talk about more details about that. Now, if you're single, because there's some widowers out there, you can make up to $25,000 a year, and your 50% of your Social Security is taxed. If you are making over $34,000 a year, 85% of your Social Security is taxed. So therefore, even though they took the money from us and paid us no interest on it, all right, and they're giving it back to us, they're still taxing that money. Now, right now, there's a policy that, well, not right now, I say probably in the next month, there's some bills that are going to be passed in Washington that's trying to eliminate that tax on Social Security. So this could be a minute thing, but it's not guaranteed yet. That would be a win-win for everyone out there, because then you really have a true pension that's tax-free.
Absolutely.
That would be a win-win.
Yeah.
All right.
So I always recommend just, first year at least going into retirement is, I just don't want an individual to be blindsided by a tax bill. So I always say, first year, have them withhold more than what you think they should in Social Security. You can have them withhold taxes for you instead of waiting until the end of the year and getting caught with that bill.
Another thing, too, if you're worried about not making enough in Social Security in retirement itself, one thing you can do, and I know this is not an ideal thing, but you can work a couple extra years, because by working a couple extra years in your highest income years in your 50s and 60s, by working a couple extra years, you're eliminating some of those lower years when you're in the 20s, probably making very low income compared to when you're 50 or 60. So that will bump you up also.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that.
So ways to give yourself raises.
Ways to give yourself raises. And right now, the workforce needs it, especially skilled workers. Number 3, Dustin, not understanding the multiple ways for married couples to integrate benefits.
Yeah, so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll go out and file the same strategy that our neighbor did, or we'll file a strategy that someone told us about. But there's 567 different ways to go about integrating benefits if you're a married couple. So
567.
Yeah. So you don't want to leave money on the table. When you go into the Social Security office, they don't say, Mr. Burns, you should do this, this, and this. So they expect you to come in and tell them, hey, this is the strategy that I want. This is how I want to integrate my benefits with my spouse and myself. And they expect you to tell them that. They're not going to give you any advice along the way.
Kind of like the IRS. They don't tell you how you should take these extra deductions.
Right.
They're not going to tell you that. So you need to know the different ways. And as retirement advisors in my firm, with all the retirement advisors I have in 3 states and now 12 offices, we're able to sit down with a lot of our clients and give you some different suggestions that best fit your situation.
We can literally go over and do a Social Security analysis and give them a printout that they could take to the Social Security office with them and say, hey, I want this strategy right here, and there doesn't have to be any money left on the table.
There we go. Okay. Next, I wanted to add this to it. And a lot of people don't realize that when your spouse passes, okay, God forbid, when one of you pass, the other spouse can actually take the death spouse income from that Social Security. In other words, the highest Social Security you can draw. In addition to, there's probably a few divorcees out there, okay, and you wondered what are the details and what are the details and the facts of when can you draw your ex-spouse's Social Security? The answer is yes, as long as you've been married to your ex-spouse for at least 10 years. So Dustin, 120 months, if you divorced in the past, you can draw your ex-spouse's Social Security. That's an extra income for a lot of people.
Yeah, so you could take that survivor benefit and have the higher of the two incomes. Definitely take advantage of that.
Another phenomenon, because we get this asked all the time. I'm 67, I'm 68. How am I going to get penalized if I go back to work? At full retirement age at 67, or if you were born after 1960, okay, you automatically qualify. But before 1960, as long as you have full retirement age, you're over 67, you can work as much as you want, and you're not penalized on the income that you're making. Mm-hmm. So what's happened right now, a lot of the people in the workforce were hurt. Well, let me rephrase that. Companies were hurt in 2020 with COVID. A lot of people retiring early. Now, the skilled workers are more demand than ever. Mm-hmm. So if you're wanting to work, 67, 68, 69, 70 years old, you can, and you're not going to get penalized on your Social Security whatsoever. You can make as much as you like. That's a win-win.
Yeah. Prior to that full retirement age, though, from 62 to 67, you're only allowed to make about $20,000 a year. Otherwise, what they're going to do is they're going to take $1 for every $2 that you make.
That's key. Say that again.
So if you make over $20,000, let's say that you make $50,000 a year.
And you've already activated
your
Social
Security. And you've already
turned
your Social Security on, and let's say you're getting $30,000 a year from Social Security. Well, you've now made 50 plus 30, you've now made $80,000 for the year, which is well over the $20,000 limit. So now they're going to penalize for every $2 that you make, they're going to take $1 of your Social Security back. So in this case, they would penalize almost all of the income you would have received.
So the lesson there is, if you're not retiring, no reason to draw Social Security. I know a lot of times it's a personal thing. Like, I've paid so much into it, I want to get it back. But if you're still working and you're getting penalized that heavy for drawing Social Security, just wait until you retire before you draw it.
Yeah.
I know people say, well, I'm not going to live that long. Well, you don't know what you don't know. And so therefore you can really hurt yourself tax-wise now in the future, and penalties in itself. The last question, rushing to collect and then regretting to reduce the lifetime benefits.
So we're going right into what we were just talking about. So a lot of times individuals will just feel like, hey, I've paid in this much, I can't wait to go get my income, and then they go file at 62 when they get a reduced benefit. So what happens is, if you wait till your full retirement age, let's say you get $2,000 a month at your full retirement age, and that's 67, let's call it. Mm-hmm. Well, if you file at 62, you're going to get a 30% reduction in your benefits. So instead of receiving $2,000 a month, you're only going to receive $1,400 a month. So they're going to penalize you, that $600. Now, for every year that you wait, you're going to get a 6% increase until you reach that full retirement age. Then it goes to an 8% increase in your benefit. So let's say that your full benefit, again, is 67 and you wait till 68. Well, they're going to give you an 8% increase. So therefore, it would go from $2,000 a month to $2,160. And again, just as an example here with a dollar amount, plug in whatever your amount is and then take those percentages to see what it would be.
And there's a few people out there. That's all good information. No, there's a few people out there are high income earners. You're making 100, 200, 300 plus thousand a year. believe it or not, there are certain things you should not do with Social Security, to benefit yourself. If you have large retirement accounts, 401ks, because we've all been basically indoctrinated and put as much into your retirement accounts as you can. The problem is you want the same income as you always have when you retire. Mm-hmm. And if your only income's coming from retirement accounts, guess what? You're taxed at regular income tax rates.
Yep.
If you want more information about this and understanding the benefits of Social Security and sitting down with a retirement advisor that would build you an income plan, a tax strategy plan, as well as a lifetime retirement plan, give us a call or look us up on the web at burnsesstateplanning.com. Burns Estate Planning Wealth Advisors is a 32-year-old company out of Louisiana. However, we got clients in 40 states. Love to sit down with you guys. Give us a call today.